Hello world. I decided to make a video today. Let me wipe off this lens really fast. And today it's going to be about relapse prevention. Addiction is really a very scary and interesting thing once you embrace trying to learn about it and understand it. Prior to that moment, it's pretty much going to be fear and denial in any type of addiction, whether it's with money, sex, drugs, but that's a whole nother topic. Today we're talking about relapse prevention. So there's three main, and if it becomes more than three, I apologize, but I'm trying to organize it. There's three main key points here: self-honesty, commitment, and perseverance. So the first part of it, the first part is self-honesty. So we're going to use an example, but this has to do with any type of addiction. Like I said, money, sex, drugs, those are the main three we'll use for examples. But if the example we're going to use is someone coming right off the streets into some type of rehab or sober living program, something like that, and that person is like super prone to relapse at this point. Whether it's going to be in 6 months, a year, or a week, people have confronted this person about addiction in their life. In this case, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and it's come to them basically. It's been told to them basically like you need to stop, and any type of returning to that behavior is going to be a relapse. So, self-honesty. None of these places hold people against your will. The only place that does is jail. And in my honest opinion, jail and prison are some of the best drug rehab and detox programs around. A lot of people would completely disagree, say it's the worst place for addicts, but it's basically a completely controlled environment. Yes, there's ways to get high, there's ways to get drunk when you're incarcerated, but the truth is that it basically takes away all your other privileges and all the other things that you have in your life, and it makes it so it puts you in perspective. It puts drug use in perspective. When you're incarcerated, all these other things are stripped away from you that you usually probably had at some point or other in your drug use, and you realize, okay, drug use isn't that big of a deal. It's not but self-honesty. So the brand new addict, the brand new, whatever person, I need to stop having sex all the time, or whatever pornography addiction, or whatever your imagination can easily imagine, some type of sexual addiction, self-gratification, whatever. Money spending, or if someone finally realizes, yo, I'm in a lot of debt, or I want to have more money, I want to have financial freedom. The key part is self-honesty. The first step, I don't want to bring steps into it, that's so cliche, but the first important part is that person needs to truly decide and ask themselves, is this what I want? Do I want to stop using drugs? Do I want to stop drinking alcohol? Do I want to stop frivolously spending money? Do I want to stop spontaneous or compulsive sexual behaviors? And if the answer is yes, then they're on the right track. Then This fucking guy's gonna park right in front of me. Anyways, back to the video. It's one thing I do not like about the city is it's impossible to be alone. Even in your own house, your neighbors are outside, or someone's next door in the next room over, or in this backyard or whatever. That's one thing I do not like about the city. But anyways, self-honesty. Okay, so that person who just came to terms with their addiction, with their problem, they realize it has negative effects on their life. They're spending money they'd rather be saving. They're buying things they don't really need or in a couple of days don't really want. They're having sexual habits that make them not pleased with their character, or even maybe to the point disgusted with themselves. I'm not saying disgusting by my judgment, or any other person's, but disgusted with themselves possibly. So they need to, like I was saying, they need to ask themselves, is this really what they want? Do they want to? And if you're watching this, if it's something you're dealing with, you need to ask yourself, is it something you really want? And this is where it comes to another split in the road, is that you have to, I swear these people are just driving around. It feels like they're following me, but I know they're not. But anyways, you have to ask yourself, is it, Jesus Christ. There's a difference between truly wanting you as a person in your mind and your heart, and the fleshly desire. The fleshly desire says, yeah, go get high now, go get drunk now, go spend the money now, go have the sex now, I'm horny, let's have sex now, let's cheat, or she's horny, she likes me, I like her, I'm in a committed relationship, let's do it anyways. That's the fleshly. That's not the type of want I'm talking about. You might classify that as a want, but if you do, then that's part of your problem. That's part of why you've come to these self-destructive behaviors, is because you need to establish the difference between fleshly desires, almost impulsive, not instincts, but impulsive wants, and me as a person wants. If you only have $10 and you see this shirt that you decide you want, and it's a $10 shirt, and it's going to mean you don't get to eat for the next 2 days, and that's truly what you want, then by all means do it. You're not stealing from anybody. You're not hurting someone to do that. Now, if it was with a credit card, and you come to the point where it wasn't a necessity, and it's not wise to keep building up debt, that's different. But what I'm saying is, eventually you might come to a place after living that way and be like, oh, you know what? I have lots of shirts. I don't really need that shirt. I'd rather have the money to eat, or a part of the money to save. But if you're at a place where that's still truly what you want, then by all means. And like, if you're back to relapse prevention, like, if you get into a drug program, and if you sit down in the morning and you say, I'm tired of lying to people, I'm tired of lying to myself, I'm tired of my body being physically and mentally addicted to drugs or alcohol, then yeah, you still might have some fleshly desires, like, I want to go get high, I want to go drink, but you need to truly figure out what you want and what your body is craving, or fleshly desires. There's a difference. And for some people that might not be the case. They might truly want it still. They might not give a crap about who they're hurting, and here we got another person just gonna drive straight at me like a fucking weirdo. uh, you know, there is people who they might really want that. Now, I will never encourage anyone to steal, to lie, to hurt themselves or hurt other people. But it, if that's the life you want, I'm not going to tell you not to, you know, like, oh, I have money, I don't care about having a place or whatever it is. Or if you're not wronging other people, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, because that's your decision. That's your life. I'm not going to judge you for it unless you ask me to help you with it. But then why waste your time sitting in a sober living, or why waste your time sitting there? You know, make the choices that you're available to make, and see where it gets you. You might eventually come to a point where you decide, I'm done with that. And that's, you know, that's how it was for me with money, with sex, with drugs too. And I learned some of my biggest lessons with caffeine. I was, you know, I drank a lot and did other drugs when I was younger, but once I got out and I had the, you know, caffeine isn't illegal. It's not an illicit drug. I believe it's not considered that. Once I had the, you know, I got off the other drugs when I was incarcerated, but I learned more about myself from caffeine addiction, because it taught me really figuring out, hey, I don't really like the way that nicotine or caffeine, cigarettes too, makes me feel, except for kind of completely random times. Why am I feeling like I need to do it every morning? Why am I need to feel like anytime it's offered to me or available, I should and need and will do it? And I finally realized that's a gross feeling. That's being completely controlled by something, and it's not natural, and it made me feel weak. And anyways, so, but no one was stopping me from drinking caffeine, telling me, Matt, don't do this, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting other people. No, most people do. So like I said, if I really wanted to, I could go drink all the caffeine I wanted, but I finally realized I don't really like the way it makes me feel. I kind of like the way I feel after I haven't drank it for a couple of days, and I have natural energy. I have natural motivation and natural enjoying things, not being spun on a stimulant of caffeine. But so hopefully that sums up self-honesty, because if you're not honest with yourself, besides, you know, treading water and being stuck somewhere, not being able to make progress, you're also going to be creating delusions in your head. Oh, well, and we're talking delusions months and weeks and days, hours, minutes in the making. Like, I'll give one for an example. Sexual addiction. Oh, well, I told my girlfriend, you know, I don't think we can be serious, or she did this to me, so it's okay for me to go have sex with this other girl, because no, that's first off, there's rules to a relationship. Second off, don't make excuses for yourself to do something to meet fleshly desires that you truly don't want to maybe do. If you want to be a player or whatever, do it, but don't hurt other people, and don't lie to yourself. As Trouble, the rapper, who I respect a lot, he's from Atlanta, he said, don't let any other person yank your chain. Don't flex for any other person. Don't do what you feel is right. And so that dishonesty of self, that self-dishonesty, can create illusions, like I said, months. Like, you can be in a place putting on a show for everybody. Oh, I'm not doing this anymore, I don't want to. But in the back of your head, you're just plotting. You need to be straight about that. And I'm not, maybe go talk to about other people, but you really need to address it. You need to bring it back to self-honesty. Okay, I'm plotting on getting my own room when I leave this sober living, so I can drink and use drugs. but I'm just telling everyone else that I'm here for the program. I want to quit, and eventually they'll believe me and help me get my own place so I can do what I want again. Okay, that's where it comes. Yes, you probably need to tell people that you have reservations or that you're plotting to go use or drink, but to really solve the problem, you have to ask yourself, like, do I want to drink and use more? No. Why am I setting myself up for failure? I need to abolish the idea. I need to seriously just cast it away, desert it entirely. And it's like, don't make excuses to do things you don't want to do. Address them for what they really are, and that's things you don't want to do. So now we're gonna try to go forward towards man, this place is sitting on like a dirt pile. We're gonna talk about perseverance and commitment. Okay, so now you're at a point where whatever it is with spending money, you decide you want to stop, start saving money, stop wasting it. You decided the difference between needing things and wanting things and blah blah blah, and you've come to a point where or in your sexual addiction where you've decided, hey, I want to be with one person, or I don't want to be with anyone, and I don't want to be looking at porn or whatever. You decided you don't like the way it makes you feel. You've decided you want something, but it isn't easy yet. But you know, when you look in the mirror, you can tell yourself, I want to quit drinking, I want to stop using drugs, I want to stop spending money wrong, or stop having whatever, the gambling, whatever it is. You decided you wanted to stop. So the next step is commitment. You have to be. Our brain is a muscle, and I'm not a neurologist. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a scientist, but your brain is a muscle, and everyone talks about muscle memory. So if we've spent years, saying yes, compulsively saying yes, I'll spend, yes, I'll do, yes, I'll have sex, yes, I'll drink, yes, I'll smoke. If we spent years doing that, our muscle memory is trained to say yes. It's that simple. That's our most basic route of it's dealing with whatever we're presented with. So first off, when the situation presents itself, you have to say no. It's that simple. And it's not easy, but you have to retrain your brain. And I promise you that if you're sitting here listening to this thinking, oh, like it's easy to say that and it's not, well, I'm telling you, the first time is gonna be hard to say no matter what it is. But you have to straight up, not maybe, not a little, not some of it, it's gotta be a clean, straight no. And once you do that, you're gonna start building new muscle memory, new memories, new experiences that can replace the ones you've had of shame, of intoxication, or whatever the feeling of spending or sexual endorphin release. It's going to be a different discipline that you're building in yourself. So you have to commit to that. No, fully commit. There's no entertaining. You have to be completely honest with yourself and commit to the no. There's no entertaining maybe part of some of it. It's committing to a no. And after that, sorry about that. Lots of people driving up to me, and I guess it's like being alone when I make videos, sorry. But anyways, so we talked about self-honesty, we talked about commitment to saying no. It's an absolute decision. There's no if, and, or buts about it. There's no maybes. There's no whens. There's no possiblies. It's a complete and absolute no. And the last point we were talking about is perseverance. It's not going to be easy to stop doing something you want to do, but I guarantee that the results will benefit you. The reward it will be something you can't imagine, and that's God's promise to you. But you have to persevere. You're gonna have to say no. You're gonna have to commit to that. And then when it's tough, when it's hard, you're gonna have to take a nap. You're gonna have to turn on the TV. You're gonna have to call a friend, but you can't collapse to the behavior that you are trying to get away from, be it sex, money, alcohol, whatever it is, whatever toxic behavior you've come to realize is toxic for yourself. And you know, and that's the thing, you're gonna have to stick with it. It's like running a mile. And it's not even that it's easier than running a mile, but it's the same idea. You got to push through it, and then it's that much easier each and every time. Or you just have to finish it. You can't quit. You have to persevere. So, you know, all that being said, I hope if you have any type of problem with any type of addiction or toxic behavior, toxic habits, I hope this has helped you. I hope it's opened your mind a little bit, because in my experience, that has made that's a big part of it for me, is not just blindly choosing, really thinking how I feel and what I want, and trying to understand what's going on with my body and my mind. So I hope I hope and pray that someone finds some value in this video, and feel free to leave some feedback or any other topics you maybe want to hear me about. I would be blessed and honored to talk about anything. But I really hope that you find a divine purpose in your life.